What was the greatness of the Lord's strength? He was traveling with all of those different chariots that he had come with. Okay, he was spoken about within the book of 2 Ezra, the 13th chapter. Okay, you had those different chariots that he was traveling with, and that was the greatness of his strength. Okay, and all of the different nations was going to marvel when they had seen that, because they was going to be afraid. Okay, so when you talk about the might, the military might of NATO and America, and how they was going to fight up against any UFO insurgent that was going to come, and they have you believe that these different movies, through these different movies, it's just going to play out so well for them. That's not what the scripture speaks about. That's not what the scripture had prophesied about. The scripture, when you read about these prophecies, you find out that, man, there's going to be come about a great judgment upon this house, this nation. And that great judgment was going to be them just being completely eradicated from the earth. And part of that was going to be the chariots, the strangeness of Jacob's salvation, which was the Lord traveling with the greatness of his strength, the host of heaven. Okay? So it says, wherefore art thou in red and thine apparel, and thy garments like him that treadeth the wine fat. It says, I've trodden the wine press alone, and of the people that was none with me. I'll tread them in mine anger and trample them in my fury, and their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garment, right? And I'll stain all my raiment. So the Lord's saying basically he's going to be getting working, man. Okay? The Lord's going to be getting working. So although they might look right now like they are untouchable, because it's a higher power, that's why the scripture says, I'll not meet thee as a man. It's going to be a higher power, a celestial being, if you will, that's going to be coming up against Esau and really putting the first, putting the judgment onto him. Not the first, but really all the judgment was going to come by way of the Lord, man. Okay, because that's why the scripture says, vengeance is mine. Okay, it don't belong unto us. It don't belong unto the different nations. The Most High, us being joint heirs with Yahweh, we're going to be partakers in taking vengeance against this man. But really, the vengeance belongs unto Yahweh and Yahweh. That's why the scripture says what it says. Okay, so it says, I'll tread them in mine anger and trample them in my fury, and their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, and I'll stain all my raiment, for the day of vengeance is in my heart, and the year of my redeemed is come. Okay, so the redemption of the 12 tribes of Israel and the destruction of Babylon is coupled hand in hand. They go together, man. Okay, so Isaiah, back within the book of Isaiah, the 47th chapter, and this is the 9th verse. It says, but these two things shall come to thee in a moment: the loss of children, widowhood. They shall come upon thee within their perfection. And this calls to mind the book of Isaiah, the 13th chapter, which I'll get a little bit later on, where it says, their children shall be dashed to pieces, their wives ravished. These are all wartime scenarios, okay, which is going to come about on these untouchable countries, America, Britain, these NATO countries that are basically untouchable right now through the military might, okay, that came about by way of the petrodollar. Okay, which has rendered them untouchable. But see, when it comes to a higher spiritual being who's outside of this thing of a petrol, who's outside of this thing of a currency and what's known as trade wars, etc., etc. Okay, when you have an entity that's outside of that, guess what? You was gonna have it to where that power could come up against that nation and ultimately render their military might useless. Okay, and it's gonna be useless. Okay, when you coming up against the spiritual power and you got carnal power, okay, your power is gonna be rendered useless. Okay, much like how you got it to where you got this thing of Marvel and you got these infinity stones and this, that, and the third. Okay, that's other dimensionally power that the Lord's gonna be coming in. Okay, here it is. You got a person that thinks in 3 dimensions. Okay, well, the Lord, when He's coming back with His power on the host of heaven, which is called the glory of traveling in the greatness of His strength. Okay, He's gonna be using powers that's unimaginable, man. Okay, remember He spoke the world into existence. This is the power that Esau wants to fight up against. Okay, this is the power that Esau says that doesn't exist. Here it is, the Most High has spoken the world into existence. He spoke the grass into existence, the butterflies into existence. Okay, He spoke the bees into existence. Okay, He's got all of these great wonders within and works within the earth that He had created. Okay, even Esau, the most wickedest entity, okay, the most unnatural beast, okay, the worst, the most subtle beast that was in the garden, okay, He had created even them. And you go to where the creation is going to boast itself against the Creator, even to the end of fighting the Creator. Okay, and they're going to find that their power is useless, man. As far as he's concerned, they're gonna be as far as the Lord's concerned, they're gonna be fighting with sticks in comparison to the technologies that the Lord's gonna be bringing in, man. And that's spoken about within the book of 2 Ezra, the 13th chapter, where the scripture says that what the Most High had no instrument of war, but where he spoke, that's where the judgment went out. Meaning, say he spoke the words and the angels executed it. Okay. Remember, the scripture says that what? The issues of death belongeth unto the Lord. So even this whole thing of war, the Lord doesn't even have to do that. But for great spectacle, and as part of the whole entirety of the movie, okay, the Most High is going to do it that way. Because as far as these people are concerned, when you have it to where just the Lord just kills everybody in their sleep, for instance, and that's how this judgment was going to play out, well, guess what? The name of the Lord wasn't going to be magnified within the earth. But if you have some great war play out, and you have this great power come and it's going to take down that great military, where everybody upon the earth was going to speak about it, and everybody was going to fear the Lord. Okay, and that's when knowledge was going to abound within the earth, okay, because everybody was going to know, hold on a minute. Them guys that were in the street corners preaching, okay, in the rain, in the sleet, in the slow, not only were they right, they are chosen as what? As the Most High's chosen people, okay? They're the ones who were with whom the Most High had bestowed upon them the mercies, and then the Most High has elevated them, okay? So that's going to be a big game changer when that thing plays out, man, okay? On perception. Okay, because fear is going to be returned with you. That's the thing you don't have within this society. Okay, you got it to where you got, most of these Western countries have it to where the number one religion within their countries is Christianity, but you have nothing but hypocrisy, pride, okay, covetousness, boasting, adultery, or idolatry. Okay, that's the essence of Babylon. Okay, that's the essence of what goes on within the society, spearheaded by the Christian church. Okay. Idolatry, adultery, okay, covetousness, boasting, okay, pride. And when the Most High sees all of these different things of pride, idolatry, adultery, okay, it angers him. It's going to anger him because he's created the creation, okay, and he's got it to where he set forth the order where with the creation was going to be existing, and the creation has gone contrary against it, man. Okay, so he's going to be angry when he sees that, and he's going to return fear upon the earth. So Isaiah 47:10, it says, "For thou hast trusted in thy wickedness." Now this is the point I wanted, because we was in the book of I believe it was in the book of Job, the 20th chapter, and there was a particular point that was said. Okay, so it says within the book of Job, the 20th chapter, and this is the 11th verse. It says, "His bones are full of the sin of his youth, and which shall lie down with him in the dust." So when Esau was destroyed, even his witchcraft and his enchantments that he said ain't nothing out here but witchcraft, man. Okay, we got Valentine's Day coming up. That's got pagan origins. You just had Christmas, that's got pagan origins. So you say something like witchcraft, people look at you like it's nefarious, but their whole life and their whole every facet of their life is based around witchcraft. Like I said, Valentine's Day, okay, Saturnalia, which they call Christmas, and all of these different pagan religions that these people worship, they try to couple it with the scriptures, man. You know how much that angers the Lord, man? Okay, here it is. They're saying this wicked festival you call Saturnalia. They're saying that was the birth of Yahweh Shai. Okay, which one? It wasn't the birth of Yahweh Shai, man. Okay, we know that the Lord was born at a completely different time. Okay, to that, and we also know through the history, the understanding of how these things have been brought together. We understand that through various councils, okay, through various wicked dealings, okay, and decrees and judgments, that doctrine from the scriptures was coupled with doctrine, okay, from the heathens, so that you could have it to where Jews, okay, could coexist with the heathens. So they still had their festivals, but their festivals now was coupled with the heathen festivals, so everybody could just coexist together. Okay. So that's how we know these things break down. You go into the thing of a virgin birth. That's got Babylonian origins. Okay, you go into the thing of Easter, which Easter is coming up around about March. Okay, which is all like I said, it's all witchcraft. It's all witchcraft. It goes back onto the Babylonians. That's why we know this. That's why this place was known as the door of Babylon. Because why? Because the vast majority of their philosophies come from Babylon. And if they don't come from Babylon, they come from where? They come from Egypt. Because these are completely, totally wicked society. Okay? It says here, so I had a couple of point here within the book of Job, the 20th chapter, which I was coupling with Isaiah, the 47th chapter. So Job 20 and Job, the book of Job, the 20th chapter and the 11th verse says, his bones are full of the sin of his youth, right? We shall lie down with him in the dust. And I'm coupling that here, and this is the reason why I'd gone to the book of Isaiah, the 47th chapter. Okay, I'm coupling that here within the book of Isaiah, the 47th chapter, and this is the 10th verse. It says, for thou hast trusted in thy wickedness, and it says, and thou hast said, none seeth me. Okay, so when they go out there to put forth a venture like putting barium oxide within the air, so everybody's just dumbed down, or when they put certain chemicals within your food, they're basically saying no one sees us. We could just go out here, and this is going to lead to us establishing our so-called New World Order. But the contrariwise, the Lord sees all of this. Matter of fact, the Lord is the one that puts it within your spirit to these different things, man. Okay, all of the alchemy, the chemistry, which alchemy, which is witchcraft, is where you get the word chemistry. And when you check out how these different pharmaceutical drugs work and what they do onto your body and how they change your physiology, and you find out it's a hell of a lot of witchcraft coming out there. Okay, because you go back into the ancient days, okay, and you had it to where a witch might be on the scene and they give you some herbal remedy, okay, based on based on witchcraft, okay, then that person was going to be put to death. But now you can go out there into a Tesco's or Sainsbury's, okay, or Macy's, or Walmart, okay, and you can readily access what was basically witchcraft back in the day. You can get that off over the counter, okay. And that all goes back onto the Esau's general rule of wickedness, okay, of which the Most High sees. Okay, the Most High sees all things. The scripture says that the eyes of the Lord are 1,000 times brighter than the sun. So he sees everything that's happening within the earth, and he's gonna get to work. What do you think he's gonna do, man? What do you think the Lord's gonna do when he comes back? He's gonna be angry. Okay, you got into the notion of these people. They basically believe that the Lord, okay, when he returns, he's going to be coming back with peace. And he's going to have everybody happy. Well, everybody's already at peace and is happy. But what's abounded more? What's abounded is idolatry, man. What's abounded was just complete wickedness. Okay, this complete and utter wickedness is what's grown within this whole realm of everybody come together and let's all be happy. Because that's what's been accomplished through Christianity. You can't deny that. Everybody's at peace with each other. But now they might be at peace with each other, but really they're what? In their mind, they're like ravening wolves, man. They're looking for to get the get-over. So it's a very volatile state of peace. But remember, the scripture says, when they shall say peace and safety, that's when the Most High was going. That's when the Most High was going to rain judgment upon them. That's in the book of 1 Thessalonians 5:1. Okay. So back now within the book of Isaiah, the 47th chapter, and this is the 10th verse, the 9th verse, it says, for these two things shall come up, the 10th verse, it says, for thou hast trusted in thy wickedness, and this is what they trust in, okay? They don't trust in the scriptures that the Lord speaks about. You go into these elite bankers and you speak to them about the scriptures, they'll look at you like you. Now they do go into the script, they do go into the Bible, but they're trying to change the course of prophetic prophecy. That's what they're trying to do, because they trust in their enterprise, they trust in their wickedness, they trust in their connection with the spiritual demon Satan, because they ain't connected onto Yahweh Shemi outside, they're connected onto the spiritual demon Satan. That's why when you read the scriptures, it talks about how the the wicked root has set up the seed of the wicked amidst the seed of the righteous. Okay, but that's within the book of Matthew the 13th chapter. Now that you can, whatever way you want to look at that, you can look at that as Jacob and Esau, and you can look at that as the Herodian line. But whichever way you want to look at it, okay, you go there to where the wicked, okay, was going to be dispersed amongst the people, and ultimately when the time, even though they might look like us, okay, or they out and out look like Edomites, okay, or they out there amidst their Moabites, okay, and breed it into the land of the Moabites, and they look like Moabites, the Messiah was going to root out the wicked, okay, and trace the history, the lineage of these people, and ultimately giving them the Wacko's apple, man. Okay? So, Isaiah 47:10, it says, for thou hast trusted in thy wickedness, and thou said, none seeth me, thy wisdom and thy knowledge hath perverted thee. Okay? And that's an important statement to say, because you go to the book of Daniel, what did it say? It says that how Esau has become wiser than Daniel. Okay? Esau has increased his knowledge, okay, of how the elements come together, of how the technologies is brought together. Okay, how to create a mobile phone. Okay, that's a form of wisdom. Okay, now he used that wisdom in wickedness. Okay, because really he could use this technology that he got out here to completely end, world hunger. You see, this man will have you believe that there's such a thing as overpopulation, but he's got the technology and the money to fix all of those problems in one. Okay, but the point I was making is that through their technological advancements, they actually believe that they are untouchable. They actually believe that they could transcend being a human. Okay, that's why you have a thing called transhumanism. They think that they could transcend that thing of being a human because that knowledge is perverted. Okay, you can have it to where you could be born a man, you could change into a woman. This is the knowledge that has perverted Esau. Okay, this is it has perverted it. Okay, so it says here that knowledge has perverted thee. That knowledge and wisdom has perverted thee, and thou hast said in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. So for the because if you can predict the weather, man, you could do a whole thing just off of predicting the weather. Okay, that's why you had it to where Daniel rose up within the ranks amidst them Babylonians. Okay, the original Babylonians, because not only was he a man full of wisdom, he was a man that could prophesy too. But see, Esau can do that with his technology. He can tell you when he can tell you when the wind is where the wind is blowing tomorrow, man. That's how much he's about it in his technology, and through that his mind has become perverted because now he thinks, wait, hold on a minute, I've done all of these things. Okay, maybe I am a god. And you check out the history of Esau, okay, you check out when different Greco-Roman kings have gone out there into war, and they might fight like 30 battles, and when you fight 30 battles within the ancient world and you come back home, man, the people look like, man, this guy's gonna be a god, man. Okay, this guy is gonna be blessed by the gods, he's gonna be a god. And this is the same thing Esau is thinking onto this day, man. He's gone out there into the different battles, okay, he's used his technologies to perfect death. Okay, and he's won the stronghold and he's won the resources of the earth, and through that he actually thinks he is a god. But see, the Most High is going to return him fear unto him, and not only he's going to return fear unto him, he's going to return fear unto the earth. And not only he's going to do that, he's going to completely take away the thing of the most proud people that's ever existed upon the face of the earth. He's going to take them from the earth completely and never to be seen ever again. Okay. So Isaiah 47:11 it says, therefore shall evil come upon thee, okay, and thou shalt not know from when it riseth, from whence it riseth. Mischief shall fall upon thee, and thou shalt not be able to put it off. And it says, then desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which shall thou shalt not know. Okay, because you got this thing of the New World Order is being set up by what? By way of divisionary tactics. Okay, the Russian being seen as the aggressors. Okay, and as a result of them being seen as the aggressors, you got Esau. Okay, painting a picture of Russian aggression and so many different things on the thing of geopolitics. You got so many different instances. Okay, where Esau has done certain things to try perfect his enterprise of the New World Order. But like we know, and we're gonna see within the book of Job, the 20th chapter, when he is about to fill his belly, meaning say when he's about to establish this thing and set it off, and it's good and it's popping, really the Lord was going to rain his anger upon it, man. Really the Lord was going to set judgment to come upon it, okay? Whether it be NATO breaking apart and they're coming up against America and saying, look, we really don't want to get down with this, and we're gonna come up against you in war, okay? Because the scripture says within the book of Obadiah, them that are at peace with thee, have deceived thee, okay? Them that sit at that table, meaning say that the NATO table of decisions, okay? Many of those NATO countries really don't want a piece of Russia. They don't see the point of it, okay? They just ain't down with the program. And the Most High set it up within their minds that it was going to be down with the program, okay? And this all goes back onto the prophecy within the book of Daniel, how that there was going to be a rulership in the last days, okay? Before the 12 tribes of Israel was going to be set up, but you was going to have a rule, okay, of kings, and this kingdom was going to be divided, okay? Parts of it was going to be as strong as iron, which was America and NATO, okay? Countries within NATO like Germany and Britain, okay? These are points of strength. Such as likened unto iron, and you also was gonna have a clay, soft as clay, pebbles. Okay, some countries are strong with some things and ain't strong with other things, and this was gonna have it to where people was gonna have differences in opinion, because when you have a ruling country, when you have a divided kingdom, and you have a ruling country, okay, that has got a strong military, okay, they can have it to where they bully you into certain decisions, okay, going into Syria, going into Libya. You can have it to where a certain country is bullied into a particular decision. You see that with Germany right now, how the Germans are basically being bullied into certain positions because the American government is, it's got greater influence. This is Babylon, remember? Okay, so you can have it to where that happens, okay? But as a result of that happening over and over again, you're going to have tensions brewing, okay? Like the tensions that's brewing between Turkey and America, okay? The tensions that's brewing between America and Germany. All of these things was going to increase to the end that really this the whole thing of the New World Order and all of them, setting something forth was going, it was going to fall apart, okay? Now, really, the law is going to have it to where it's going to fall apart ultimately, but we know there was going to be certain things that's going to be happening behind the background too, okay? If it could be said this person made this decision, but really the Lord put it within their spirit to do that. So, back within the book of Isaiah, the 47th chapter, and this is the 11th verse, it says, "Therefore shall evil come upon thee, and thou shalt not know from whence it cometh, whence it riseth. And mischief shall fall upon thee, and thou shalt not be able to put it off, and desolation shall come upon thee suddenly. And stand now with thine enchantments, with the multitude of thy sorceries, from which thou art set up from thy youth." Okay, because since the inception of this beast, okay, since the beginning of this hegemony of nations, okay, it's been set up in witchcraft. Okay, look at the days that they call high holy days. Okay, like I mentioned before, you got Saturday. Okay, you got a so-called St. Valentine's Day. That's what's coming up, and then you got Easter after that.